Welcome back to the summit. I am so happy to welcome Julie Christopher. Julie is a CEO and creator of Biz Tuition. She's a professional entertainer, music, artist, speaker, spiritual guide, and her inner voice was what led her to America with only $50 in her pocket and a guitar. And in spite of her humble beginnings as a homeless illegal immigrant who couldn't speak English, she trusted her supernatural gifts, overcame the odds, and realized her divine full potential.
Wow.
Thank you for being here, Julie. This is amazing. That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Pamela, this
Ah,
sound is literally the perfect reflection of your incredible self, luminous, radiant self in multidimensional. So you have like this star in the front of you and then all the sparks around. That's who you are. And one of the
mm,
most remarkable place to be in life for me as receiving gifts is exactly what's happening right now, Pamela, with you. And it's this humble grace that with your own carrying on presence, your own frequency, that it's inexplain, you can't really explain it because it's not logical. And it's your presence that really create this show. You created me in this moment, you created this music because we really didn't think about it. It just kind of burst into its own consciousness in the moment. And that's what I love about you, is that you have the ability to be so caring, so compassionate, so humble, so genuine. And you are just right here, right now. And you give the permission to the other in a free will kind of way to be who they are, to express who they are. And Pamela, this is one out of a million gift, especially when it comes to the industry that we're in as a host. It's very powerful. You know, you're
wow.
kind of an
Wow.
Oprah in your own way. It's
Oh.
like it's very powerful because it holds itself up. You don't have to move, you don't have to say anything, you don't have to do anything. It just happens. So thank you for the opportunity for being here on your show. And wow, what a gift that I will be able to share with my community and others, because I can't wait what will unfold in this magic as we
Yes.
go. Thank you,
Ah,
thank you, thank you for your gift, your presence, and just creating this for us. Thank you.
well, thank you. That is such a huge blessing. And you are my mirror. So I am so grateful for you that we can have this moment and not only us, but share it with everyone because This is exactly why I wanted to do this summit. I wanted people to understand that we all have this energy. We all come here with our own energy, with our own vibration, with our own unique and beautiful blueprint for what we're meant to do in the world. And you coming on and just sharing yourself with us so wholeheartedly just is perfect, 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 because it's like the sound of uniqueness. It's like the vibration of it, and it allows us all to step into it. So I just am so deeply grateful for that.
You're so sweet. I think we all instruments. So whether it's a guitar or your body, your consciousness, we're instruments. So we don't have to play guitar and sing to be somebody special. You know what I'm saying? We are all rock stars in our own way,
Yes.
because we are all conduit of je ne sais quoi, which we'll discuss later. But this, it's giving to everyone, and everyone can ignite their true unique song through their own unique instrument, without having to judge, compare, because we're in a society that is now completely extreme, nonsense, that we have to go back to one guitar, one voice, or no guitar at all, just be the instrument.
Yeah. So talk to us about your story. Talk to us about how you ended up coming to America with just your guitar and $50. Just tell us your story.
Well, I'll try to get the short version of it, because otherwise, there's another book coming to tell you, it's kind of long, but I'm going to make it short. And the short of it is this. I was born, we're gypsy, we're French gypsy. So French, Moroccan, yada, yada, like all kind of different things in my blood, but mainly we're gypsies. We're born in the south of France. And I grew up in a very, very tiny, tiny town, one of which is Camargue. And this is what a gypsy from all over the world, we go. We some live there, some not, but this is a place where we reconnect to nature, to sound, the music, the horses, and then we pass the gift of intuition. Okay, so I was born with novel, meaning that unfortunately for me at the time, it became a disability. I couldn't learn at school normally. I didn't have the way to learn writing or reading or writing, because I had synesthesia. So synesthesia is a phenomenon that is like dyslexia on steroid, if you will. So synesthesia, you see a color, instead of looking at the color, you're gonna have other senses. So you're going to smell instead of seeing the color, or if I see you, I'm going to see colors around you instead. That's your aura, right? So all of this happened meanwhile growing up. By the age of 5, I used to put my hand on my grandmother's back, because she said that God was giving me the healing power, because I was healing her back. So I can go on and on, but all these little stories adds up. Was very alone. I felt very insecure. I felt like I didn't belong here. I tried to kill myself several times growing up. At the age of 15, I didn't want to be here anymore. Sexual abuse and blah, blah, blah. And then all these things happened. So that's the long short. That's the long story, trying to make it short. I was in Paris in the industry entertainment, where I also was almost sold into the human trafficking, blindfolded, and I was very lucky to somehow, by God's grace, escape. Later on in Paris, I was living. I was sleeping, and the voice come through again, because through my life, I had the voice came in. Literally a voice that spoke to me, said things to me and guide me. I listened to the voice. This whether it's your inner voice or an instinct or intuition, you have to listen. So I listen. And this voice said to me, pick up your guitar and leave. And this is where you're going. And they show me the place, which was LA, Los Angeles. Mind you, didn't speak English, didn't have much. I have some, but I left belongings and I took only a little luggage that my grandma gave me. So I left my country at 4 o'clock in the morning, and arrived in Los Angeles at 1 o'clock in the morning, and knowing no one,
And you were how old?
It was 25 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So like,
so you were young.
20. Yeah. Very young. So basically,
Wow.
I just knew I had to do this. I knew that I had to cut the curse of different things, and I listened. So even though I didn't speak English, I knew that I had a guidance, and I just kept following the guidance, even though I was a immigrant and illegal immigrant, homeless. Which
So
is
amazing.
guitar. But I saw a thread. I saw like a movie in front of me, like this is the path. So I just start following.
Wow. I mean, it's so miraculous to me that, and I mean, I know that there are a lot of immigrants that come to this country with, a couple of dollars in their pocket.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to go and we're going to figure it out when we get there. And that in and of itself is just a remarkable thing. But to come by yourself at such a young age, I mean, it's extraordinary. And then to learn the language. So what happened? I mean, how did you find yourself in this like strange new world?
So it's very interesting because nothing is strange to me. I'm not sure why. I lived a life that is a little different because I chose by choice. As a very, very young age, I chose the higher path. By the age of 10, I was already meditating. So I already was in training. By the age of 15, I could see things.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it was already a part of you.
It was already a part of me. So I didn't have to learn it or do anything special. Right. I just knew that I knew.
Yeah.
I knew that I knew.
Right.
And I know it was unshakable faith, and it was something that nothing could absolutely turn me away from what I knew. Even though the struggle was huge. I mean, I can go on about the struggles, but that's not important. What's important is how we overcome the struggle to get to our destination, which is liberation of the mind. Right. So I started to communicate with music to people. That's how I was able to survive, with music. Wow. I used to step into restaurants, kick the door literally with my foot and my guitar on my back, stepped on restaurant tables and start playing and opening my mouth and start playing. Wow. Amazing. And what happened is, oh my gosh, can you please steal here and come back and do the same thing?
Love it. Love it.
And that's how
it's so much tenacity. I mean, it's so much belief in yourself.
Absolutely. Like no doubt, like it's radical.
Yeah, it is.
Like there's anyone could have, the Pope could have tell me something to turn me away, or the president or whatever important person, I would have not listened, because I was so filled in with passion and purpose that there's no way that someone would interfere with that. There's no way. Wow. Because God was more important than any of these people. So to me, it's what I chose, and I sticked with it. Even a very, very difficult time. Sometimes it's like, well, maybe I should go back. But the going back part is not possible. Yeah. Because you can't go back.
It's so powerful. But I want people to really understand. I mean, I want them to hear like that, even though your story is unique, your experience doesn't have to be unique. That
No,
we really all have the opportunity to live from that space.
that's right. Absolutely. And it's a thing of like you said earlier, like the miracle part.
Yeah.
The miracle part is only a miracle because we can't put a name on it. So we say it's a miracle.
Mhm. Right.
But the truth of it is that we're born a miracle ourselves. We are the miracle.
Mm.
So this is where we're stepping into. And to know that you can be creative, you can connect in a way that is meaningful with others. You can definitely choose, because of what? Ignorance is not a gene, it's a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And the one who, our parents or whoever brought us here, when we got here into this vessel, this bodysuit, well, sometimes those people, even though it doesn't seem right at first, they're the right people to give you the experiences that you need for you to upgrade and to wake up. So our job is what? To catch, oh, wait a minute, this is not happening to me, it's actually happening for me. So we all have that ability. Again, ignorance is not a gene. We don't have to be like our parents or whatever.
Yeah.
You can start becoming who you are meant to become and continue and expand and have the conversation like I'm having with Pamela. You're very capable of doing the same thing, except that where are you in your mind? Is your mind controlling you, or are you controlling the mind? That's
So
the only
powerful.
thing.
Yeah, so powerful.
I mean, if you don't control your mind, you're going to start talking like your mother. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying it's not going to be you. It's not going to be your voice.
Right.
In all of our lives, what? We look for what? Fulfillment, happiness, more sex, relationship, blah, blah, blah. And we always end up in the same point. Not fulfilled. I want more of. When all along, you are enough.
It's so good. I mean, I just want people to hear that, but not with their ears. I want them to hear it with their hearts, that they are enough. We are all enough.
We are.
Just the way we are. We are the way we are on purpose.
I mean, wow. We are the way we are on purpose. That's so beautiful. Because we walk on purpose, not just with purpose, but on purpose. We dream on purpose.
Right.
We imagine on purpose. We meditate on purpose. And so you're right. It's an important message that you are enough, that we are enough, especially as women today in our society where we have to wear all these hats.
Yes.
Not only you have to be smart, but now you have to look sexy on camera for social media and all this BS.
Right.
It's complete BS.
Right.
Because it's torture. I mean, it's literally a torture.
It's so frivolous. Yeah.
It's so
purposeless.
Torture.
It really is
it's
purposeless. Yeah.
I mean, I understand, like today I'm like, oh my gosh, it's cool. I can just, put a little makeup on because we're dressing up the bodysuit.
Right.
In honor and in presence of others, in respect.
Right.
Just like when we go to a temple, you take the shoes off, you light up the candles, you do the incense. That's what we do with our body, but on purpose.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But not because that's something that is filling us up somehow.
No.
Like we're getting our sense of enoughness from that. But you said something earlier, and I want to kind of go back to this because I think that when we think about presenting ourselves, or we think about what we're doing in our lives from the point of kind of quote unquote who we are, a lot of times what who we think we are is kind of who we've been told to be. And what I love about your story is that you say it didn't really matter. Like you were so in tune with yourself that it didn't matter what other people would have said to you about who you were, they thought you were, who they thought you should be. that you really just knew, you had this knowing about who you were. And I think that right there is the heart of coming into your uniqueness.
It
Is
is,
saying that
Pamela.
no one else is going to know who you are. No
You
one
know,
else
Pam,
can take that journey for you.
that's right. That's right. It's the discovery of the self, which is the magnificence, the reflector of God consciousness. This is the supreme self coming in on earth and really mastering you, yourself. That's the realization of the self. So the part that what's cool, what you said triggered something in me, because I had so many people told me so many things at the early age. Like the first thing that I heard growing up is from my mother. I was brought up by a single mom. My dad left us. I was like 9 years old, so that was it. So my mom was in charge, or was she? And
Right.
yeah. So I heard, oh, well, Julie is something is not right with her. Like there's something wrong. Like he couldn't learn, all this thing. I was very slow. I picked up a guitar by the age of 6. I was in my room playing guitar hours at a time and all this stuff. So basically what she said a lot was, thank God Julie, or Juju, because my nickname, is pretty. Heureusement qu'elle est jolie, hein? Heureusement qu'elle est jolie, cette Julie, parce qu'elle est tellement bête, hein? Ça veut dire en français, in French, but in English is, thank God she's pretty, because she's so stupid. And at least she'll find a husband. Okay?
Wow.
So when you grew, I want you to, if you're watching this, I know you have someone out there who told you those things, those poisonous words that took seed into your subconscious. And for some reason, it just kept growing. And then you, 15, 20, 25, 30, and you just started believing in this.
Right.
Right? Isn't it what we do?
Absolutely.
And so our thoughts are now to control over our life. And our program is now deciding of your destiny, which is going to be the same as probably your parents.
Right.
Repeating the cycle.
Yep.
Instead of perhaps, the difficult part is that, Pamela, you and I, and, in our circle and a lot of our friends, we were very blessed because we were able to hear the ringing bell.
Yeah.
We heard that something was not right. We felt unique and different. We felt alone. We felt lonely.
Like a dissonance.
Yes.
Yeah.
We knew that we were different.
Right.
But somehow something along the way clicked for us.
Right.
And for me was a simple thing as being in silence. And I know it sounds silly because, oh my gosh, by the age of 10, I already knew this. How? I don't know. I just knew. Yeah. So what I say to, if you're listening to this, if there is something in your life that you're, that the quote of Rumi says what you seek seeks you. So what I'm saying to you, if you're listening, is like, if you don't know your purpose, if you feel like you're different and you know there's something there, avoid the path where you start learning about everything. And try to empty everything you've learned so far, so you can start peeling away what you're not.
Oh, it's so good.
So I began the journey when I sat down as a little girl and I was going into the cosmic land, because I was connecting with guides and all these things. To me, it was normal. Okay, it was normal. I had a sense that we are universal beings. Is each time I go back to silent mode, I disappear.
Wow.
I disappear, and then I used to think about seeing myself like I used to see myself on TV or walking a stage or playing on a big crowd, or I see myself like this. And then guess what? All this happened. All of this by sitting down in meditation.
Wow.
And I was able to listen to my own self. So what I'm saying to you is stop seeking and start quieting. Because don't be a fool. There's millions of fools out there. They watch the show, the Gaia, the this, the machin, they go in circle and they come back to the same point. They're still wondering what the heck they're doing and why it's not working. I read this book on manifestation. Well, they were wrong. It's not working. I don't have my $1 million yet. It does not work like this, guys. In fact, not at all.
So true.
Because your purpose is meant to help others. It has nothing to do with the millions and all of these things. All of these things comes in the process of you expanding your consciousness, and it comes no matter what. It's normal, but it's okay. If it's here, it's okay. If it's not. The most important is you start to inquire who you are and ask yourself, who am I? Okay? In fact, if there is another book, it's who am I? And all the pages of the book are empty. It's empty. So you ask yourself, who am I? And then you just be present. Believe me, things will come up. Your head is going to go blah, blah, blah. It's okay. What I say is don't try to change the mind, because the mind's purpose is to collect thoughts. It's going to pick at you and say, oh, I'm here. Why don't you listen to me? It's going to try. Okay. Your job is to listen to the thoughts and not try to push them away. Don't push them away. Don't push anything away. In fact, embrace everything and just be present, be quiet, and just let it happen like you're watching a movie. And then if you start that little by little, be patient with yourself. This is not microwave meditation where it's going to happen. You're going to have a coconut fall on your head and you're going to enlight.
3 minutes in the microwave and you're done.
You know, because Pamela, you know exactly what I'm saying, okay?
Yes. I was thinking what came to my head was a bag of popcorn. You know, it's like no one pops popcorn, real popcorn anymore. The way that, you know, it's like you stick it in the microwave and it's so true. Like what you get is a totally different product.
That's true. And so, I mean, if there is, I'm not going to point you to this direction in this way because it's not going to work. All I'm going to say is like sit every day, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then augment your minutes. But don't try to go somewhere outside of yourself. It's not going to be there. It's just not. It's a loss of your time, a loss of energy, and a loss of your money that I know you're spending on all of that things that you want that answer that you already have all along. That's it. You already have the answer.
Wow. I mean, literally I feel like there's nothing else I even need to say at this point, because what you just said was so poignant. I mean, it's absolutely the truth. And I think what happens is that we so overcomplicate things. We just overcomplicate them because it's like, if it's simple, we think that's too easy.
If it's simple, it's not good enough.
Yeah. It couldn't possibly be that simple, right?
Well, no, if it's simple, you know, I mean, come on now, like that's, you know, that's, so the mind, again, it's we call it in yoga, you know, the back and forth, the yo-yo, the monkey mind.
Yes.
The vritti, the agitation, the inflammation of the mind, all of that is our mind, is because nobody at school, and there is no school for that. There is, but you have to look for them. But the traditional school will not, unfortunately, teach you those skills of most powerful survival skill.
Right. Yeah.
most powerful survival skill.
And I want people to understand, like, you have gone on to have a very successful career. You've had a lot of accomplishments. So it's not like you're coming at this without any business background with it. I mean, that was the foundation of you having all of the successes that you've had.
Yes. And not to say that we're all different. So somebody's success not come from intuition, powers or whatever, and
Sure.
it's okay. We all have our journey and our path. But there's no but. However, we all will eventually, all of us, no matter what path we choose, will all eventually not mean this timeline, this life, this timeline, perhaps later, we are all will come to our own conclusion. That's why
we are spirit beings.
We all will come to our own conclusion on our right time, because
Right.
you cannot feed a steak to a baby. If you're a baby soul, we have to feed you little baby spoon. If you're a big soul, then we don't feed you anything. We're removing everything you've learned so you can get to beyond the cliff of the mind and then go beyond the mind. Okay?
And there's no right or wrong. I mean, there's no, it's okay. If you're baby, that's okay, because next week you could be a teenager. I mean, everybody's different. Your evolution. So it's really just a matter of you.
That's right. Your evolution matters to my evolution. Watch this. Because we are all connected. There is no here little, here big, here enlightened, here not enlightened. All this is BS, guys. This is spiritual. This is not, come on.
Right.
Where are we going to stop the madness here? Okay.
Yes.
You're all born from somebody else's butt. And then we all go to the same bathroom. Okay. Well, not the same one, but you got 1 or 2 bathrooms at your house. What I'm saying is that we have to let go of what the things that we think we know, because that's a limitation that we create, and then we can't grow anymore. So no matter if we know things, and we know a lot of things, we really don't.
Well, and to stop comparing, to stop,
That's right.
because our journeys are not comparable. Our souls are not comparable.
No. But they're affecting someone else's.
Yeah.
So because we're so connected to one another, your level of consciousness is affecting directly my level of consciousness. And there is no such a thing as, good or bad. It just is. Yeah. Because we need the good, we need the bad. And these things about that I hear lately is so much because, of what's going on.
Right.
Change the world. We're going to make an impact on the world. We're going to change. I think, what is this madness? Everybody's trying to change the world. I don't. I like the world the way it is. I don't like to change the world. I want the world to be a reflection of light and compassion. And I guess what? That's what I see in the world. So I don't know what everybody's seeing, but I see the world as a beautiful place to be.
Well, and I think that's so important. I mean, I think that's such an important point, because I think that, we can choose our focus, right? We can choose our focus. And so to remember that that's part of our journey is, if we have a certain focus, to be aware of that. To go, okay, well, I'm focusing on this over here when I could be focusing on this over here. Is this really what I want to be focusing on?
So true, Pamela. So true. Beautifully said, because in fact, you're the one who's creating that world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go down that road, right? I mean, I don't know if you permit that in your show, but the reality of it is, you get up in the morning and you see the world that you want to see yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time we don't like change. So we keep on seeing the same thing because we don't have the right vision. So there's one thing there that I would say is that there is a right vision or there is a wrong vision. And I know
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong, but what I mean by that is that we have to stop seeing from the physical eyes
Mm.
and start going beyond what you see.
Yeah.
Because it's, when I say the wrong vision, I mean perception.
Right.
We have to change our perception. You know, we all want beautiful things, but if our perception cannot match those beautiful things, it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
So the first thing to do is to change our perception
Mm.
and the perception of ourselves, because the world you see is the reflection of yourself.
Right. Which, like you were saying before, is what happens in that space when we're quiet and we can listen.
And you know, Pamela, I mean, I spoke to you know, I have executive I work with, and I guide them, guide them spiritually advisor. When I say meditation, they have a really hard time. They right. I always say, I said, you know, you're not gonna. What do I have to do next? Well, honey, I said, you're not gonna like it. You don't like when I say that, but that's the only way. You cannot escape that part.
Right.
The enter of the self, go through the self to know the self. You can't go outside in Himalaya and touch the guru this and that. Come on now. I mean, those experiences are necessary to start to see. So if you need those experiences, do them. But hopefully they're teaching you that those things outside of yourself are not the real deal.
Yeah.
And so that's what I always say, meditation. Well, how do I meditate? There is no how to meditate. You don't need to how to meditate. It's just pick a pillow, sit your butt on the floor, close your eyes. That's it. Yes, because I'm not going to teach you breathing and this and that. That's, if you can't even sit for 2 minutes, why would I even teach you how to breathe? Doesn't make any sense.
I love it. It's really, I mean, I think that little shift too, right there, you know, that little shift of, can I get myself on the pillow? I mean, that for a lot of people is a huge step in and of itself.
Huge. And I love that it's a big step, because this is the big step.
Right.
It's when you meet yourself for the first time in maybe 30, 40, 50, sometime 80 years. You meet yourself where you at. And this is when you open the door of honesty, and you start to be completely honest with yourself, no matter, and it's going to be yucky. It's not going to feel right. But that's the only way to clean the mirror. And the more you clean the mirror, the more you start seeing clearly. And the more that becomes clear, which is at the soul level, literally, you will see yourself as this light being.
Right.
But it's not in the head space. It's not in the mind. Oh, I see colors. I have people, oh, I think I'm enlightened. I see purple everywhere. I'm like, come on. Okay. What did you eat? Too much garlic or something. People need to realize that it's not that.
Yeah.
Not at all. It doesn't happen like this. Yes, you're going to have those experiences. And yes, it's important on the path. But go quickly, move ahead. Don't get stopped and think like, oh, now because I have people that they start saying, oh, I'm such a good meditator. Now they start teaching others. What a mess. Everybody started seeing colors.
Oh, it's so funny. But, you know, I want people to understand that it is going to be a little bit of an experience. Like as you get into it, you'll start to hear, you'll start to envision things. So just kind of let things happen.
That's right. That's exactly right. If it happens, what I'm saying is like, great that all these things happen. Don't get attached, because those things come from the mind. And since you are the habitual of the mind, you're still not going to see for what it is, because it's the mind that will give you things to think about, not yourself.
Right.
You're not the mind, you're not the body.
So
So
watch
when
it,
you
just watch it.
so watch
I
it,
mean, just observe it, right?
be the observant and the witness.
And
Because
allow.
you're not the one who's meditating anyway. So anyway, that's a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
show. But be the witness like you're watching a movie. That's perfect, Pamela. That's a great, great advice that everybody can follow.
And
For
and I
sure.
know for me that was really, really helpful. I mean, even being able to, and I'm stealing this from Eckhart Tolle, but just being able to even see that a lot of those things that I would think about or that I might focus on that were negative were not me. They were not even a part of me. Maybe they were part of, my pain body, which is really outside of me, or maybe it was just things that I've been told, like you were saying earlier. Maybe it was information that I had consumed at some point. And just to know that, there's all of these things that sort of influence us, but they aren't us. And so being in this space that you're talking about allows us to learn how to see the difference. We can see all these things and go, oh, okay, wait, that's not me. And then when we really start to get in touch with ourselves, we realize, oh, that is me.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got me the chills.
And so that's
So
like that.
cool.
That's the process of the learning.
It's so cool what you said. I know I if we could say it again, I don't know if you could, because it was so simple, but so right on. What do you said exactly? Do you remember what you just said? You would have to go back.
I think it's just just allowing ourselves to be in that space where we're quiet and we're listening, and we see the things, whether they've been said to us, whether we've heard, whatever, wherever, and just see them as that, knowing that they're not us.
I love that. Oh, I love that so much. Because the more we investigate, in fact, all of that is not us. I mean, I don't want to take the joy or the experience away. I want everybody to go through their own experience.
Right.
But this realization of being so much less and so much more in the same time, like, oh, wait a minute, Pamela, I'm you, and Pamela, you're me.
Right.
We actually one right here talking.
Yes.
In two different voices as two aspects of ourselves.
Yeah.
In this multidimensional beingness. Wait a minute.
Right.
This is cool.
It's magical. It's so magical. And to know that like we have this is available to all of us.
Yes.
To be able to be in that space and to have that experience on a regular basis, that it doesn't have to be a rare thing.
So this is the thing. Let's share that, because like I would do the dishes, and I'm sure it happens to you too, right? And it's not just the dishes, but it's things that are gross, like picking up the dog's poop, or I mean, I do things like such ordinary things that become extraordinary. And it's such a gratitude for the things that are happening or not, the things that are not happening. Like literally, we have two puppies that we adopted here in Puerto Rico. And one is obviously, going to the bathroom on the floor, and it can be a pain. But then I remember each time I collect his poo-poo, it's like, oh, I have this light in my life. Yeah, thank God he's healthy. Thank God he's poopy. There's always, so it's perception. And when we shift into that perception, it's ordinary. Right. Life becomes a privilege, isn't it?
So true. Yes.
Like, it's like, I broke my legs. Yay. It reminds me that I have legs that I forgot. Maybe I was not grateful for my body. Well, there I go. Maybe I needed to reassess.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I'm the strong one. I'm doing this. And then boom, the legs are gone. So it's like, okay, I got it.
It's so true. There really is. I mean, there's something we can take away from everything. I mean, there's always something we can take away, no matter what happens.
No, it's every day. It's not in the yoga studio that happened. Okay. It happens in your life at home with the people that you're living.
Right.
So that's another thing that we do, Pamela, as spiritual beings awakening, you know what I'm saying? We're like, we need to have those experiences out with the circle of hippies and, you know, all this stuff that's glorious. I love
Right.
to do. We love it. We love to play and celebrate.
Right.
But often we forget that it's already here.
Ah,
When you make the coffee in the morning, you have the aroma of coffee. When you drink wine, when you connect with another being, and it's like, it's life itself.
yeah.
That's the awakening. It's just right there every moment.
Mm. Yeah, that is so well said. And I think in the context of business and this idea of our careers and what we're doing, you know, and a lot of us, it has meaning to us, right? We feel like there's a
Yep.
purpose in that. And I think that is really at the heart of it, is just going, you know, even in the sort of minutia or the mechanics of these things, there's still purpose, especially when we have that foundation of really operating from our true identity.
Yes. So example, and I say that for a reason. Everything that I try to say or connect or transmit, it has a meaning and a purpose to touch some part of yourself. So I've been on the set of Shark Tank, for instance.
Right.
How did I get there? How did I sing with Willie Nelson? How did I sing on the Grand Opry Land without speaking English? How did I do all these things? How did I show up on the Shark Tank set? I mean, I tell you what, when the first time I showed up and I met everybody, all I did, because I listened and were trying to connect and be in alignment, no matter where we are. It could be a set, a TV set, or on a beautiful set in Sedona where you sitting to meditate. Doesn't matter at that point. Okay.
Right.
So when I got there, walking into the set, you have a lot of busyness and all the sharks are there and all the guests, and all I did was just simply, I didn't say anything. I just went, you know, like this, and I was connecting. And Barbara Corcoran, she came to me and she said, did the same thing. And we connected here and we connected here. We didn't talk.
Wow.
And since then, we have been connected. Why? I didn't go and say, I'm the shit and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. No. You know who you are. You don't need to show off, right? You don't need to be what you're not. Be who you are. That's powerful. Show up as you are. If you want to be seen and you want to be heard, show up as you are. And the right person will see you. The right person will see you.
Well, there is no better way to end this, that I want people to really sit with that. I want them to really sit with that. So let's take this moment and let that sink in.
Show up as you are, be as you are.
That is so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Julie, for sharing your heart with us today and your beautiful, beautiful music. It is so magical. And everyone, you're going to be able to find Julie, obviously, on all the standard places, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Her bio is going to be down below, so you can learn more about her. You can reach out to her, connect with her. I know she would love to connect with you, so please do that. And Julie, just any closing thoughts that you want to share?
No, there's no words. That's it. It's just being in presence and being thankful for you to be present and seeing us, because If you were not here, I would not be here. This is very powerful. So thank you for seeing me and hearing me.
Thank you for all for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everyone.